Everyone, and welcome back. A few years ago I did some videos on the board game Alien Fate of the Nostromo. I got rid of them to do this one. I'm rejigging it, and I've dumped a few things that I observed in those videos to do this one. It's not a playthrough, it's a general observation on some things that are odd in the game. You know, I looked at playthrough videos when I first bought this game, and it really was helpful. But I did notice things as well. Now, let's kick off with this, the coolant canister. Now, as you can see, and in the writing of the coolant canister, the word discard. Now, remember that. Discard. So in the game itself, you can be either words carrying a coolant canister in your inventory, or there's one lying there in the workshop, and basically this is where you discard the canister, the workshop, and it's only in the workshop you can discard the coolant canister. So, you obviously want a bit of scrap. That's what it's all about. So, you discard your coolant canister for 2 scrap. Now, do you put the canister back down on the floor? Of course you don't. Because you've turned it into scrap. So, therefore, the coolant canister is now off the board. It's not on the board. It's been discarded. It's gone. Totally. Now, this is what I've noticed in the final mission cards. 3 of them, to be exact. The wording on those cards is exactly the same. So, that's the normal game bit of it, of the coolant canister, as you're playing the game doing the objectives. Take a look at this coolant canister in the maintenance. Now, is that discarded? No, it's just lying there. It's lying there ready to be picked up by somebody. And therefore, that coolant canister is in the gameplay. It's not off the board. Now, let's go forward to the final mission, and this is what I'm getting at. 3 of the cards, you will notice this writing on these 3 cards. These are the 3 particular cards coming up shortly. Sorry for me dragging this out a bit. Anyway, here we go. They're coming up right now. So these are the 3. The other 2, it doesn't concern those 2. These are them. You have my sympathies. Escape on the Narcissus. We're going to blow up the ship. In all 3, you will see it there in the setup. Now, I think people just interpreted it in such a way that they would go around the board gathering up coolant canisters wherever they are on the board. Here's a close-up. Place all discarded coolant canisters into the equipment storage. Well, even if you picked up a coolant canister and dropped it, because 2 of the object cards tell you to do that, where you pick up coolant canisters and you drop them into certain areas, they are not discarded. Ones have not been picked up and not been discarded. Discarded means a coolant canister that is not on the board. I know people interpret it that way. Oh, you go around picking them all up off the board and put them into the equipment storage. No, you don't. You leave them. Whatever is left on the board, you leave. Only if you discarded a coolant canister or canisters, then they do play a part in the final. Now, another one that is a bit peculiar to me. So here's the scenario. As you can see, there's Paul Parker he's trapped by the alien. It's Parker's go. And you got Brett there in the gallery. And there's Ripley in the corridor. Now, this concerns 2 items. This is weird, this ruling. I don't really get this. So as you can see, Ripley has got 2 flashlights in the inventory, and Brett has an electric prod in his inventory. Now, as you'll see on your action cards, you'll see in both cases something rather intriguing. And what that is coming up right now. There we go. That's the flashlight. Have a read of that. You probably just picked up on something that's rather intriguing. May be used when it's not your turn. That's unusual. And same again on the electric prod. Now, where Ripley and Brett are, how can these items be used by Parker? Just not possible, is it? No. I think the interpretation there is no, you cannot. But if Parker and Ripley were together, or Parker and Brett, or all 3 were trapped in Mother, I think you could then. Yes, you definitely could, because you're trapped with a person who's got one of these 2 items. But when they're a distance away, no, I cannot see that at all. So be careful with that one. It is a bit of a dodgy one. It's not too clear. So let's move on, folks, on to my next strange one. Right, moving on. Couple of observation ones here. I notice people will drop coolant canisters because it says so on a couple of the objective cards, but they don't seem to drop anything else. Take a look at that white card. Yes. Pick up, stroke, drop. Drop 1 item, drop any number of scrap. So you can drop an item. If there's something on the deck you want, your inventory is full, you obviously got to select an item that you are going to drop so you can pick that 1 item up off the deck. So, yeah, bear that in mind, folks. Bear that one in mind. And another one that I observe. Now, this is a bit of an odd one, but it's just me observing. Here's the scenario. Brett has just used the incinerator on the alien. As you know, the alien makes a mad dash back down to the nest. Now, as you can see from the board, it's coming up shortly, Brett and Ripley are blocking its ways to use the other ladder. So it's got to go down that ladder it's on. And as you can see at the bottom of that ladder is Parker. Now, the alien's got to go through Parker. Now, surely that alien is running into Parker. They're coming face to face. Wouldn't you lose 1 morale? You interpret that how you see fit. Let's put it that way. It's not me getting nitpicky. It's just an observation. That one, just a plain observation. Yeah, so if you buy this game, obviously learn how to play the game, the base rules of the game. You will notice 1 player is very easy, and as you have more players, it gets harder. So a good balance is 3 players. You can play it as a single player, by the way. You just got to be careful to observe whose go it is and do the actions correctly and so forth. And after that, you can create your own version of this game. I've done my one on a single player, because single player on the base rules is just too easy. This is my setup, what I call medium. And I do have a hard version where I make it even harder. Look at that setup. It's completely different, isn't it, from the normal base setup? Yeah, so have a look at what these items do. Have a think. Because you can create your own single player. I'm working on a 2-player one at the moment. Would I go beyond that? I don't know as yet. Yeah, so you can make changes. Like when I play Ash, he moves around the board more. He does. So yeah, once you've learnt the game, you can have fun creating your own version of the gameplay. Yeah, so observe everything in the game. What an item can do. How can I modify it to make it a little bit harder, or even harder than just slightly harder? Yeah, you could have fun doing that, and I've really enjoyed my version of the single player, medium and hard. Now, a quick mention here, I've also got Aliens Bug Hunt. It's a great game. I don't have the other one, which is very heavy on the rules. This is a light game, Aliens Bug Hunt. I like this one because this is tiles, and the complex is made up of tiles, and it changes all the time. And you can modify the rules slightly. But I think you can do a lot more in Alien Fate of the Nostromo with the rules. So, yeah, play the board game with the normal rules. Once you've played it, once you're familiar with it, then you can tinker with it, create your own version of it, as I have done with a single player. And that's it, folks. That's a wrap for this video. I'll see you on the next one in due course. Have a great day. Goodbye.